Kentucky Fried Chicken has been running the same playbook since 1952. Fried chicken, a bucket, and 11 secret herbs and spices nobody's supposed to know. But everything around that core menu has been a graveyard of failed experiments. Sandwiches that vanished overnight, wraps pulled after a decade, even a fish sandwich the company tried to get the Pope to bless. Yes, really. This is top 10 KFC menu items that failed. Before we start, a couple of these items didn't fail because people hated them. A few failed because people loved them too much, and that's a stranger story than it sounds. Let's get into it. Its debut, the Chizza, sounds like a joke. 2 fried chicken fillets standing in for a crust, topped with marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni. It wasn't a joke. It had already been a hit overseas for almost a decade, debuting in the Philippines back in 2015 and spreading through South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, and half a dozen other countries before KFC finally brought it to American menus on February 26, 2024. It came in as a limited-time offer, and it left the same way. No dramatic recall, no controversy. It just quietly aged out once the promotional window closed, the way most LTOs do. The lesson here isn't that Americans hated chicken pizza. It's that limited time at KFC usually means exactly that, and fans who don't order it fast enough only get to complain about it later. Number 9. Fish Snacker, 2006 to 2012. In 2006, KFC tested a 99-cent fish sandwich, a small Alaskan pollock patty, tartar sauce, sesame bun, and rolled it out nationally in 2007 as the Fish Snacker. The pitch was simple. Give Catholics abstaining from meat on Fridays, especially during Lent, a reason to pick KFC. Here's the part that sounds made up, but isn't. KFC actually sent a letter to Pope Benedict XVI asking him to bless the sandwich. The Vatican quietly said no. No blessing, no viral moment, and by 2012, the entire snacker sandwich line, fish included, got phased out to make room for the Chicken Littles revival. Divine intervention or not, the fish snacker never had a chance. Number 8. Kentucky Grilled Chicken, 2009 to 2018. This one failed in the opposite direction, not because nobody wanted it, but because KFC couldn't say no to how many people wanted it. Launched in 2009 as a lower-fat, oven-roasted alternative to the fried classic, Kentucky Grilled Chicken got the full Oprah Winfrey treatment. She promoted a free 2-piece meal coupon on her website, and demand exploded so fast that stores ran out, lines backed up, and traffic snarled outside locations nationwide. Franchisees ended up footing the bill for giveaways they never approved, and some of them sued KFC's parent company, Yum Brands, over it. Even after the launch chaos died down, grilled chicken never sold like fried chicken did. It spoiled faster, moved slower, and created food waste that fried chicken never would. By 2018, it was gone, phased out for lack of demand once the hype wore off. Number 7. Twister Wraps, 1997 to 2014. For 17 years, the Twister was the item you ordered when you wanted KFC without committing to a full meal. Crispy chicken, lettuce, and sauce rolled into a flour tortilla. Org petition popped up in 2019 just begging for its return. It took 10 years, but KFC finally listened. The Twister came back to menus in 2024, technically making this one of the few items on this list with a happy ending, which raises the obvious question. If the demand was always there, why did it take a decade to notice? Number 6. Chicken Littles, the 1980s to 2013. Briefly 2023. Before the snacker, before the Twister, there were Chicken Littles, small chicken sliders that had been a KFC staple since the 1980s. They got pulled to make room for the snacker in the mid-2000s, briefly returned around 2012 when the snacker line got cut, then disappeared again by 2013. KFC tried one more comeback in 2023, folding them back into a limited relaunch. 3 separate exits and at least 2 comebacks. Chicken Littles might be the single most resurrected item in KFC history, which says less about the sandwich and more about how often KFC can't decide what its own value menu should look like. Number 5. Beyond Fried Chicken, 2019 to 2022. KFC's plant-based experiment actually started strong. The first test in a single Atlanta restaurant in August 2019 sold out in 5 hours and generated an estimated 2 billion media impressions. That's the kind of launch most menu items would kill for. KFC expanded the test through 2020 and 2021 and finally rolled Beyond Fried Chicken out nationwide on January 10, 2022, a 2.5-year test period before it ever went national. And then, without much fanfare, it quietly disappeared from menus. The plant-based fried chicken category never took off the way the beverage and burger side of fake meat did, and KFC scaled it back to a shadow of its original nationwide rollout, a textbook case of a huge opening act with no second act. Number 4. Potato wedges, the 1990s to 2020. Potato wedges launched in the mid-1990s and became one of those cult favorite sides that outlasted several menu redesigns. Thick-cut, seasoned, and different enough from regular fries to have its own fan base. KFC discontinued them in the summer of 2020, replacing them with the thinner secret recipe fries. Fans never let it go. The demand stayed loud enough for 5 straight years that KFC finally brought wedges back in 2025, alongside hot and spicy wings, and the announcement reportedly racked up over 50 million views on social media, more attention than the wedges probably got during their entire original run. Number 3. KFC Snacker, 2005 to 2012. Launched in March 2005, the Snacker was a 99-cent extra crispy strip on a sesame bun with lettuce and mayo, and it was, by KFC's own numbers, the most successful new sandwich launch in the company's history. Over 100 million sold in the first 6 months alone. Some stores were moving 1,000 a week, so why kill your best-selling new product ever? Margins. The Snacker was priced so low that it was eating into sales of KFC's higher-profit bucket meals, and by 2012, the company pulled it in favor of a smaller, cheaper-to-make sandwich built around the returning Chicken Littles. The Snacker didn't fail because people stopped buying it. It failed because people bought too much of the wrong thing. Number 2. The Double Down, 2010 to 2014, revived periodically. Announced on April Fool's Day 2010, the Double Down sounded like a hoax. 2 fried chicken fillets standing in as the bun, with bacon, cheese, and sauce in between. No bread anywhere in sight. It wasn't a joke. KFC sold more than 10 million of them in the sandwich's first month alone, and it became one of the most talked about fast food items of the decade. For better or worse, KFC pulled it from regular menus in 2014, but the Double Down refused to actually die. It's come back for limited runs multiple times since, most recently in 2023, each time selling out fast enough to prove the demand never really went anywhere. It's less a discontinued item than a recurring event. Number 1. Popcorn Chicken, 1992 to 2023. Popcorn Chicken debuted in 1992. Pitched as a step above chicken nuggets, bite-sized pieces of 100% white breast meat that some locations were selling 1,000 orders of every week. For 31 years, through menu overhauls, rebrands, and every fad KFC chased in between, Popcorn Chicken just stayed on the menu, quietly reliable. Then, in early 2023, it became a casualty of what KFC called menu simplification. Cut to make room for new items, including a limited-time re-release of the Double Down. 31 years is longer than most fast food chains have existed in their current form, and Popcorn Chicken still couldn't survive a menu cleanup. If anything on this list proves that longevity means nothing once a corporate spreadsheet gets involved, it's this one. 10 items, 3 decades, and a pattern that keeps repeating. KFC's biggest failures are rarely about bad food. They're about menus that get too crowded, margins that don't work, and fans who don't show up loud enough until the thing they loved is already gone. Which one of these would you actually bring back? Let me know in the comments, and if you want the McDonald's and Burger King version of this list, they're linked right here.